Alright, so hi, my name is Sierra, and I wanted to give this video on inappropriate sinus tachycardia just because it can be very helpful. I mean, when I first got diagnosed, it was very helpful to, look on YouTube and see the videos of other people that had gone through the same thing and to hear their story and just to be able to relate. Sometimes when you're going through something, it just feels so good to know that you're not alone and also someone else has been through the same thing. So I wanted to make this video just to put my story out there and hope that it can help someone else, or at least help them to better understand what they're going through or relate, or however it may work out. I just wanted to offer this video. So a little bit of a backstory, how I got diagnosed. I'm gonna probably be looking over here to the side. I got my notes down because I tend to be a jumper. I'll just jump all over in the conversation and not even say the one thing I needed to say. So if I'm looking over there, that's probably why. That is why, because I have my notes right there of things I want to talk about. So basically, what I was going to say is the backstory of how I got diagnosed with inappropriate sinus tachycardia was I had this spot on the back of my head. And it was just like a scab that just wouldn't heal, and it had always been there. I mean, I remember when I was 5 years old, it was there, and growing up, and I would just tell people when they did my hair, like, be careful of that spot, it's like tender, it's sensitive. So I went to the doctor and different things for it, but they would just say, like, it was like infantile or something. But I was working at this job, and this is all 2017, so I was working at this job in 2017, and my hands would get dirty a lot, and I would just, like, itch that spot, because it would itch and flake and bleed and crust and all this nasty stuff, and I just felt like I'm probably making it worse, because my hands are dirty, my nails are dirty, and I'm just putting all that in there. So I made an appointment with a dermatologist, and the dermatologist took a biopsy of it, and they told me that it was a tumor, and I was like, oh, a tumor, I just thought it was some nasty looking scab that just wouldn't heal, and I didn't understand why it wouldn't heal. But nevertheless, they told me I needed to have surgery, so I went and had the surgery, and they removed the 2 tumors from the back of my neck, which was fine. I mean, for the most part. Let me tell you, getting those staples out of my head definitely was not fine. That junk hurt, and that's when you say, what the junk? Like, what the junk? That's my saying, that's my go-to. But that was one of the moments because it got stuck. But nevertheless, so I was fine after the surgery for the most part. I was healing okay and everything, but I just felt like it was really hard to breathe. Like, I just felt like I couldn't get enough air. Like, I described it as I'm breathing through a straw. Like, I didn't know what was causing it. I hadn't felt this before, and it was just like everything I did was harder than it used to be. Like, I used to be a athlete. I consider myself like a natural athlete. Like, I'm pretty talented at what I do. I can just try the first time and I'll, like, get that hoverboard and I'll ride it around and not even fall. So always through school and high school, I was always involved in sports and even, like, extracurricular, like, which that is extracurricular, but I mean, like, I would also do, like, PE and weights at the same time as I'm doing sports. So I was always very active, and even after high school, I would go to the gym. I was a gym rat. I would go to Lifetime Fitness workout, and then even, there's a time where I went to Title Boxing to work out. So I always enjoyed being active, and I just love doing different things, rollerblading, skateboarding, I just love anything outdoors. I'll play football with you or catch, or we can ride 4-wheelers. I don't have one, but if you want to ride, I'm like, let's go. So anyways, I'm just saying that I was a very active person. And then when all this happened, it was kind of like a reality check. It was like an identity crisis. Like, I didn't know who I was. I was trying to figure it out, like, what the heck can I do? Like, I'm used to doing all this stuff outdoors and everything, and now I'm trying to, like, do I color in a coloring book? Do I like, do a puzzle? Do I read a book? Like, it was a very difficult thing mentally to, like, relearn who I was or what I could and could not do. That was a battle in itself. So I had to take things really slow, because even, like, going upstairs, sometimes just standing, my heart rate would just increase. Just standing, just doing simple things like that. So I had to take it slow. Often, even at church, when I'd go to church and it was time to, like, sing for worship, and I would sing, and stand, and I just felt like that was just too much in itself. Just the action of standing and singing, my heart rate was just going too high, I guess. It was just really, really hard to breathe. So I was, and then like also with that one, I want to say that it was hard to breathe. You know, like when I'd have those times when it was like really hard to breathe, like I need to sit down or, you know, I can't breathe, whatever. Afterwards, I would just feel tired. I would just feel tired. I either feel like two types of tired, like tired, like, well, that was definitely tiring, or tired, like sleepy tired. You know, like one of those two types of tired would often come after, you know, doing something that made it really hard to breathe. So I was going to all these different doctors, and I mean this period that I'm talking about right now lasted for 9 months. So I just want to say that. So like, it doesn't always come quick. You know, you don't always get answers right away. Sometimes you just got to practice that diligence and just keep pressing in and pressing in. And I'm the type of person that I'm a natural pacifist. Like, I don't want any confrontation. I don't want anything. If it's like, just I'll ignore it. I kind of like ignore it. I just like, oh, you know, I'll wait for them to call me or something or whatever, you know, just different things. But this kind of stuff I just had to keep pressing in, which is not my personality, you know. But nevertheless, in order to get answers. So this is a 9 month period I'm talking about, describing like all this is going on until the time I could go back to work. So it took like those whole 9 months in order to figure out the inappropriate sinus tachycardia diagnosis, which was very difficult, you know, mentally, physically. I couldn't do what I was used to, you know, couldn't hang out with people, didn't have any money to do anything because I'm out of work, I'm on a leave of absence. So it was a trying time, but I did get through it. So just gotta keep being diligent and pressing in and staying on those doctors, you know. So anywho, yeah. So basically, I went to my primary care doctor, you know, and I had been to her, you know, previously, and we had been testing me for all kinds of things. But at this point, she did a resting EKG. And when she did the resting EKG, she noticed that my PR interval on my heart was shortened. And because of that, they sent me onward to cardiology. And when I went to cardiology, they put me on a 30-day Holter monitor, you know. And when I had that Holter monitor on, I remember one time I was at home and I was just trying to start up the lawnmower. Like I said, it was hard to do anything, but I was living with my mom and she was planning on doing the grass, you know, cutting the grass, but I was just starting it up for her and just starting it up for her. Like they called me. They called me on my phone, the hospital, and was like, hey, your heart, it's going too high. You need to come to the hospital. And I was just like, okay. Like, I didn't understand that. I didn't know that they could do that. So we went to the hospital and everything, and by that time, my heart rate had calmed down. Like, when they called me, it was around 160, 170 or something. But it had calmed back down, and I mean, not like it was so peaceful. No, like, I mean, still when I stand and stuff, it would go back up. And I remember them having me do those tests where, let's take your heart rate laying down, take your heart rate sitting up, take your heart rate standing up, and you know how it's hooked up to the EKG machines and just different things like that. You know, so I think at that point is when they put me on metoprolol. Metoprolol, I didn't really like it. I don't remember what was wrong, but it was just like, it wasn't working for me, something with the heart rate, and I can't remember. I wish I could, but I just can't remember why. But I know that they also put me on Nadolol close to that time, like in that period, because I was only on metoprolol like 2 weeks to a month, and then Nadolol like right off after for like the same amount of time, and those just weren't working for me. So I was doing a tilt table test, and they do a tilt table test to look for either POTS or sinus tachycardia. You know, basically when you just are on that table and you're strapped down across like your chest, your stomach, your legs, feet, you know, all that, and you're strapped and they just tilt it. I thought I was going to be going all different directions when they said tilt table. I was like, oh shoot, they're going to spin me around, but it was just like mild tilts, you know, just like very gradual. So I did that, and that's when they found that I had sinus tachycardia, which when I got that diagnosis, I was very happy actually, because it's like, yes, you know, we know what's going on. Sometimes when you're hunting and you're searching so long just to figure out something can just be a relief. It can just be a breath of fresh air, because it just makes you feel like you're no longer in the hunt. to figure out what's the problem, but you're more of trying to figure out how to solve the problem, So it's two different things, but I was so happy and relieved to at least have that diagnosis, to know something of what could be going on. And basically they were telling me that, like, I was having trouble breathing. I was feeling like I was breathing through a straw because my heart was going too high. Like, my heart would race way too high, way too fast, and it would make it feel like it was hard to breathe for me. So that's what was going on with that. So from that point is when I got put on Corlinor, which is also known as ivermectin. And that medicine, when I first got put on it, I mean, I cried. Like, I cried because, Google is helpful and all, but it can also, like, make you feel like you're dying and tell you that you're dying and all that stuff. But just looking up the medicine and seeing what it was used for, and seeing that it was used for heart failure, just made me cry. Even though that's not what they diagnosed me with or anything like that, just seeing the heart failure and knowing that I had to take it was just like, this sucks. And he had initially told me that it would be 6 months that I'd be on the medicine, and then I'd be back to normal. Like, my heart would just go fix itself or something. I was like, all right, cool, but that didn't end up happening, because here I am today and I am still on the Corlinor. So with starting on the Corlinor, it was a game changer in a good way. Like, I was able to do the things that I just wasn't able to, in this period we were talking about. So I was able to, like, go to church and stand up, or I was able to walk up the stairs and just do things like that. I remember when I first started on the Corlinor, though, it made me dog sleepy tired. Like, I was tired. Like, I was a bear, like, hibernating or something, like, I was sleepy tired, like, all the time for, like, the first 2 weeks. And I was like, woo, I think the other medicines kind of did something to me when they first started too, but this one just made me so tired. But it was a good medicine. The only thing that, I didn't like was, like, I just couldn't do endurance activities. Like, I could do the things that I couldn't do before. I can climb trees, and I can, go out and do things, that I like to do. Like, I like to do anything, but the thing is, I just can't do activities that require endurance. Like, I feel like I just can't handle it. Like, I feel like I'm going to die. Like, I'm knocking on death's door, and death's not answering. No one's opening the door, but I'm still knocking, So basically, it helped significantly. I just had to, like, not push myself in what I could do before. I had to accept that, like, this is where I am now, and maybe I'll be able to do those things again. Maybe not, because I love to play basketball one-on-one with my friend, and she joined this recreational league, and I was like, me too, I got next. But, just 5 minutes after, I was just like, oh, this ain't for me, So learning to make those adjustments was definitely a challenge, also because I was used to doing anything and everything. But I made them, and I've been doing good. But I want to say that sinus tachycardia, they sinus tachycardia means there's a reason for it. Like, there's something that is causing your heart to beat too fast. Like, yeah, it derives from the sinus node, but something is causing that to happen. So in order for me to, figure out, like, what was causing my sinus tachycardia, they told me, to stop drinking caffeine, and there's, like, a whole bunch of lists, but I remember stop drinking caffeine, so I did that. And then we talked about how I was on ADHD medicine, which is stimulants. So I was on stimulants, and that can cause your heart rate to speed up or everything, something like that. So I was told to stop the stimulants, not cold turkey, but we switched to a non-stimulant ADHD medicine, and that didn't make a difference. My heart was still going at it, So I like to say that my heart beats to its own drum, because it really does. It's just out there just tearing it up sometimes. But so I stayed on the ADHD medicine, and I switched back to the one I was on since we figured out that that was not the problem. And that's when the inappropriate sinus tachycardia diagnosis came along, because we can't figure out the cause. We don't know what's causing my heart to beat as it is. And I know that, like, the surgery with my head, I don't understand how that correlates to my heart, but I do know that something must have happened during that period to cause my heart just to, like, oh no, just to start beating to another rhythm. So that's basically my core Lenore story. I've been on my inappropriate sinus tachycardia story, you know, where we were on the core Lenore part, but whatever. That's basically it. I took core Lenore 5 milligrams twice a day. We changed it up recently, so I'm trying to make sure I got this right. I took 5 milligrams twice a day for those 2.5 years, and that's what I was on then. So I was able to return to work in October of 2017. So that was a nice. That was really nice to be able to go back to work and to get back to my lifestyle, because not having money and just having nothing to do and none of, you know, just what can be very difficult. So it was nice to be able to finally go back to work and to get on with my life. I still, you know, have things that I can't do, obviously, and I have to sit out of, but on the everyday, you know, basis, like, I'm fine. Like, well, not right now. I actually have other things going on right now, but what I'm saying is, you know, for the most part, like, I do just fine heart-wise every single day, you know, like, I do all right. I still have to, you know, have heart monitors every now and then to check things out. I'll have one coming. It should be in the mail, so arriving here soon. And then echocardiograms and things like that, and, you know, just the regular checks with the doctor, you know, just to make sure everything's all good, which is fine. You know, I've adapted. I've worn so many heart monitors and so many echocardiograms and stress tests and tilt tables. I've done like 2 tilt tables, 2 stress tests, like 3 echocardiograms, and a ton of Holter monitors, 2-day monitor, 1-day monitor, 30-day monitor. So I'm pretty adapted with it, you know. I don't fight it anymore. It's none of that, like, why me stuff. I did want to join the military, so that is kind of a bummer, you know, that this happened, but, you know, it is what it is. So there was one more thing I was going to say, but I can't quite remember. Oh yeah, this medicine, this whole core Lenore situation is very expensive. So like, I remember when I first got put on the medicine, he gave me these little sample bottles, which was cool until I ran out, and I'm looking at $124 with insurance, with WITH insurance. It was still like $124. So this medicine is very, very, very pricey, which definitely was like, ooh, buddy, you know, like, how am I gonna afford this? It's one of those another, like, what the junk moments, like, what the junk, man. But anyways, I'm Sierra, and that's my inappropriate sinus tachycardia story. If I left out anything, I guess you wouldn't know, but if there's anything else that you want to know about, like, how I've been feeling or doing or during my experience, you know, feel free to reach out to me somehow. Yeah. And then also, yeah, so thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And in case you were curious, I don't know, I'm 25, so I'm 25 right now, just turned 25 some weeks ago, and all this that I was talking about, I got diagnosed when I was 21. So there it is. Enjoy life. Bye.